Hello everyone, it's Kissy. I was called to make this video. It's not Halloween, but somehow I'm being called to talk about death. Okay, so death, as I know, the energy, is really like the remnants of our pain. Death is the remnants of our pain. And everyone has, I guess, some of it within unresolved. Remnants of our pain that have been long gone, so to speak. Parts of us that are no longer who we are. So those become what some would call ghosts if they haunt you because you have them unresolved. So when you also have remnants of love, all the places that love existed before now that are not here now, for example, but those, or that at least you feel that they're not with you in the present, because it's always with you. But you get to a point where the remnants of our love becomes also our angelic guides or our ancestors as we know them. That's the remnants of our love. So we have these two aspects to ourselves, and we associate death with a permanency because of the physicality that is no longer visible in our reality. But when you realize, when you look around your environment, who is in your environment, that is what is. Whoever lives somewhere else, whoever's far away, even if you can see them online, they're not physically with you, present. They are not unalive, but they are remnants elsewhere. In other words, you can see death as things that haunt because they hurt every time you think or feel it. And it's not meant to be permanent. But we associate death with permanency because the physical body isn't here. Their voice in that face, in that body, in that, that spirit in that body isn't right here and now. And I guess that's what we would call death. But what if it's actually their reality is in a different environment? One in which it's like kind of like a jellyfish in the water. The jellyfish outside of the ocean loses its form and turns into water, so to speak. At least that's how I remember when I used to cruelly catch them from the ocean and think that I would bring them home as pets in a bucket, and realize all there was left was a bucket of water. That's kind of how it is, the concept of death. It's not a permanent experience. You just have to have the eyes to see when they come back in a new form, in a new body. And then they have to also wake up to who they are. Because if they're not awoke to who they have been, they won't know who they become. In other words, you could have a family member or a friend or someone that you care about that you may have physically in real form, life, have, you've lost them. Or you feel that you've lost them. Okay, because obviously they're not here to hold. They're not here. They're just not here to hold. But they can be here to hold. Again, if you have the eyes to see, if you have the ears to hear, if you have the awareness to know, but it has to be mutual. In other words, that body also, or that spirit had to also have been conscientious enough of themselves outside that body and within that body to know who's whom whenever they're speaking to them. It's very hard to explain, because it almost feels like a game of, what do you call that game? With the chairs, you go around in a circle. And they take a chair away every time, and there's somebody that's left without a chair. That would be like the spirit of the dead, left without a chair, so to speak, to sit on. It doesn't mean they're not there. They're just not rotating in that circle. They're not allowed to go around those chairs and have a seat, because they missed their seat at that moment. So they're playing in another environment, another game. Do you see what I mean? That's what it's kind of like. And I guess perhaps I'm talking about a spiritual death or psychological death, emotional death. I can say that people that have died in my actual reality that I have known and loved and lost are still very much present in other realms for me, dream state, and sometimes in my physical reality. Their presence is there. So, and sometimes they come through other forms, other people. It's just a knowing, but it's the essence or the remnants of their pain or their love that you feel, and what you would call being haunted, or being guided. That's the difference. So I hope this message helps someone. I don't know why Spirit asked me to talk about this right now, but that's all, folks. I'll come back soon. Take care.